Hey, my name is Badass Banny. Welcome to my channel. If you're an ace, AMAC, and sex human trafficking survivor, you're in the right place. It won't cost you a penny to like and subscribe and to share worldwide. And please leave a comment down below. And today we're going to story tell about a personal sexual harassment on the job. I was working for rape crises in my hometown, and I had been in a I haven't been in the car crash yet, but I worked there for about 11 years. I was about 31 when I worked there, and I remember there was this woman, and Panay, she was married, and one time I was a services coordinator, and I dealt with all the volunteers. And one day she comes in, she says, "Do you want to try some like brownies, like deep chocolate brownies?" But the wording was, I'm trying to remember the wording. It was like she was sexualizing the brownies and trying to get me involved in this, and I knew that she was attracted to me, and she had said some things to me, and I told her at one point, "You need to talk to your husband if you want to, have somebody else in your relationship, etc." And then she did ask, and she told me her husband said no. And I said, I don't want to be I don't want to end up in a ditch somewhere, or, a husband coming after me because his wife wants, to have sex with me, or what. It really wasn't about that, And one time there was a volunteer, and this volunteer was a male, and he had a hole in his pants, you could see, it was a pretty sized hole in his pants, and it was in his bottom area, and he got up on top of the ladder, and I had to tell him I got to hold the ladder so you could go up. And when he came down, I told him, "Hey, you got a hole in your pants, And but Panay was there, and I was asking for his help, and she was like directing it and stuff. It got to the point where she actually pushed me physically. I said, "I'm his supervisor." And, oh, I remember, she wanted him to get up and get something for her, right? And it included the ladder and a bunch of stuff. And, I was, I don't remember exactly, but I was letting her know, I'm the service coordinator. I'm responsible for the safety of our volunteers, and not necessarily they're going to be doing everything for you. She can get up on there on the ladder and get what she needed or whatever, but she had someone else, this volunteer, do it. And he was acting out, so, but she did push me. I did tell my supervisor. Nothing became of it. At that time, my boss, they saw me as a right-hand man, and they trusted me, and they hired me like twice because they trusted me, and also because they can manipulate me as well, because I was in my 30s. I had broken my neck. The first time I worked there, rape crises, there was a woman there that was my supervisor and my therapist at one time for 7 years, and because I came in as a volunteer, I went through their training 3 times because you couldn't miss a day, and became a state certified peer counselor. And I've done a lot of healing right there during the trainings on the floor, watching videos and taking notes and sharing. I was good at being a peer counselor. I was very good at it, and done some high profile cases. They trusted me, and I had to report them because they were also abusive. They were abusive bosses and very toxic. And a lot of people that came and worked there came and gone. Sorry about that. It was a large turnout, high turnover. And um, they're no longer in business. It's been since the 70s. And I think Catalyst took over. And I was having problems with Catalyst. And the supervisor there, and I told, because there was always, like, between Catalyst and Rape Crises, there's always this, like, ego and power and control stuff, and that there was this competition between, and negativity between the businesses. And when Rape Crises had been no more, I asked Catalyst, because they took over, I applied for a job too and everything. They wouldn't have it. I used to be a client at domestic violence as well for 2 years. I did 2 years of therapy there. And I didn't realize that I was in domestic violence situation at that time. But, when you have in a small town, gossip gets everywhere, and defamation of character, definitely. And they defamed my character. So I wish I have I've done everything that, we say to do, and it still happened. There was another lady, too, there working at Rape Crises. She asked me on a date, and when they do, and you get rejected, then you get the attitude, and it's a small, when you have a small, what I learned, if you have a small workforce, or you're working in a small business, boundaries can get enmeshed, and there's going to be a lot of dysfunction and, toxic stuff, so you got to be careful. So I stayed professional at work, and but I did everything that I could to protect myself, and they didn't protect me. So, what are you going to do to take care of yourself today?